Hi Leo, welcome to your end of April 2018 General Tarot update. It's Raina here, so I am starting over again and I'm going to get right to it. Just wanted to let you know that this deck is the Druid Craft, I believe it's called, deck, and I've been enjoying the change of pace. So the central theme for this last bit of April is the Princess of Cups, which translates to the Page of Cups. I really like this depiction because it kind of has this hippie feel to it. She's barefoot and you can see all the leaves, and she's got her eyes closed like she's kind of in a trance. And actually the Page of Cups connects to artistic energy and also youthfulness. And the depiction here is like a younger, like kind of a maiden, okay? But actually, when we call them pages in the Rider-Waite deck, for instance, it is connected sometimes to even children. So there may be a child that you're dealing with that needs extra attention. If so, this will be a very sensitive child, and you may be thinking of your child's well-being over any other aspect. Like if you, let's say you're in a relationship with somebody and they don't get along with your child, you're going to be thinking about that. How, what is the best for my child in this situation? Or maybe you're the father of your child, because we have here the King of Cups. So this could be the father, but this person is emotionally abusive. And it's funny that he's holding a cup in his hand, and he's like in this this chair, but there's almost like this, I don't know, I mean, this is supposed to be in the upright position. I never see a depiction like that. Actually, in the reversed position, which is what this is the challenging position, so I read it as the reverse card, no matter if I pull it upright or not. This can indicate that you're involved with somebody who has a drinking problem. And if that is the case, you may be saying, I don't think this is good for my child. So you may be thinking of leaving your husband or your partner if you share a child together, or even if you don't, you may, have a partner and your child is not his child, but you still are thinking about the welfare of your child. And this could even be like a boss who is looking down on you and treating you like you're stupid, for lack of a better word, because the Page of Cups is an energy that is very innocent, okay? And this can be you for sure, even though you're a Leo, and Leos tend to be very fiery. I'm sure there are some Leos out there who have a lot of personal points in Cancer. Or, you could even have a moon in Pisces for all I know. Because this card I do think connects with Pisces, the Princess of Cups. And so, if something along those lines is occurring, you may be a very gentle soul, and you're dealing with somebody who doesn't get you, and it could be, like, as I say, it could be like a boss, somebody in authority. It could be your father, or it could be a partner who sees you as scatterbrained, impractical, and maybe you're very artistic and they don't appreciate that you are this way, and they are looking down on those qualities. If you're in a relationship with somebody who doesn't get you, you have to ask yourself, what are you doing there? Where is it getting you? Because what does it typically happen in those situations? What typically happens is the person who is being put down will try to twist into a pretzel to appease the other person, and in the process they lose their individuality. Okay, so that's an important thing to keep in mind, is that don't allow somebody else's lack of acceptance of you just as you are to become a yet another chance to look down on yourself, okay? And usually Leo people have a lot of confidence, but in the realm of relationships especially, it can be quite challenging. You know, oh my gosh, I love this card. This is the Queen of Cups. It's a very feminine energy, double feminine. I love that. Is that supposed to be a sun? And it's funny because you're ruled by the sun. I mean, even though it looks like she's in the moon, it's a very bright light. The Queen of Cups is psychic activity, I would say, first and foremost, and also a great compassion. So you may have a connection to this person where you understand the source of their pain. And this is the hook that keeps you in. And I do believe, I mean, I really honestly do believe that there are times when another person's problems don't become your problems even though you stay with them. You may decide, you may have a very conscious decision where you say, I don't care if this person has a drinking problem. I don't care if they say things that are unkind to me. I love this person and I'm going to show that person that this is unconditional love. But it would take a very, spiritually advanced person to really pull that off. Most of the time when people stay in these kinds of relationships, it's due to their own insecurities. It's not due to anything, as noble as that. But I'm putting it out there because I don't want to give the impression that other people's behavior has to be connected to your decisions. There are times when people will stay in relationships that on the outside seem that they aren't very satisfying because maybe their soul's mission was to provide this person with unwavering support. And it's not, it might not be codependency at all. It might be something that is very important for them. So I don't judge situations like that, but I'm talking about if you are bothered by somebody's behavior. You have to remember that you have your own right to respect and to fair treatment. And if you are with, if you have a boss who's very emotionally manipulative, and this could come in many different forms, you could form a kind of like codependency with this person. Same with a personal relationship. But the thing about the Queen of Cups, let me see if I can. The thing about this card is that it's a very highly intuitive card. So some Leo people maybe, I don't know, maybe you're experiencing spiritual growth and you are seeing how this person is impacting you, or impacting your child. That's, I have to go back to that. And so you may say, I'm in love with this person, but I don't want my child to be exposed to this. So it's going to be different for each person. But I really believe, this is like unreal. You didn't see me lay out the cards because I did start over again. But most of these cards are cups. So I have to believe that Leo people are going through some kind of emotional things that connect to a relationship of theirs in this late April period. The higher message is the Two of Pentacles. And I would say, you see the person like juggling jobs or juggling relationships. They tell us, and I'm saying they, because I'm talking about books that I've read about reading the tarot, that we are supposed to put our own stamp on it and not just, go by rote what the book says. And I'm going to tell you what I think this card represents spiritually for you, Leo. I think what it means is that you have to learn how to open your mind and stop rigidity of thought. Because all fixed signs, Leo included, have a tendency, especially if your Mercury is in Leo too, to be very much like, this is how life is. And so stubborn mentality. And the Two of Pentacles is about being, there's a lot of flexibility with the Two of Pentacles, okay? And it's about somebody who may have 2 jobs, or they're trying to, they got a lot on their plate that they're dealing with. But it's all about being versatile and things like that. But I would say emotionally being flexible and open to what life brings. Not being too set in your ways where you only have one possibility to come to you. So let's say if we're talking about a job and you're dealing with a difficult boss, if you have binary thinking, that could be the negative side with the two of Pentacles of like black or white, you know what I mean? But if you have that kind of binary thinking, you could say, I either have to stay at this job and deal with it and suck it up, or I have to quit. But is that really the only 2 possibilities that exist? Could you talk to your boss and say, you know what? I feel trapped in this job. I feel like I'm going to jump out of my skin, and I'm really thinking about quitting. But I want to give you the benefit of the doubt, and I just want to tell you that when you do X, Y, or Z, it really creates a negative reaction within me. And give them a chance before you just stalk off. The other thing, too, is as a spiritual lesson, I'd also say, too, always don't put all your eggs into one basket. So the Two of Pentacles could be having 2 jobs. And you might have heard that thing about Jamaicans having 3 jobs, you know. And so the point is that when people, and I think, you know, I don't know if that's a saying, talking about Jamaicans, if they come to America. And this is true. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if people who come to a country as an immigrant, if they tend to be very open to the type of work that they do. You know, think about it. Sometimes when we exist somewhere, we become very set in our ways. And it takes that kind of change that when you come to a whole new place that you've never been before, that you're totally open to it. Two of Pentacles could even be receiving a job offer that's far away, you know, overseas. But as a spiritual message, you may, even if that were to happen, you might be a bit reluctant because the devil you know is better than something that you don't know. And that's that possible, being adverse to change and things like that a fixed sign typically gets into, and that could limit your possibilities. The advice is represented by the Five of Cups. This is about mourning the loss of something. And you've probably seen, this is very similar to the Rider-Waite deck where Pamela Coleman Smith, she has like 3 cups knocked over and 2 are remaining, but the person who's mourning the cups that are over has turned their back on the ones that are still upright. And it's symbolic of somebody who is crying over spilt milk, but they don't see that they've got, maybe there's a little milk in that glass, and there's some cookies like right behind them that they can have with the remainder of the milk. You know, it's like all is not lost. And it really speaks sometimes to pessimistic thinking, where the person is very quick to feel like something is not quite right, but they're not looking at the positives that are around them, like the glass half empty, in other words. Also, again, this is a card that could be speaking about drinking problems with somebody. I've started to really incorporate that angle into some of these Cups cards because I think that addiction is one of the most common divisive elements in relationships, and that can lead to other things. Like if somebody, for instance, that King of Cups, if that's somebody that you're with who has a drinking problem, it could be that when they're sober, they're respectful to you, and it's when they drink that they are abusive. And I'm not talking necessarily about physical abuse, I'm talking even verbal abuse, emotional abuse. And it's easy to get caught in that trap of saying, well, that's only when they drink, even though they drink every night, you know what I mean? But they really do love me. It's not about me, it's about their drink. It's just when they drink. And it may be 100% true, but it doesn't mean that it's not a problem. And it doesn't mean that you don't need to get away from that situation. Again, as I said, I don't necessarily make blanket judgments on these kinds of scenarios, because I do believe that it's, you know, they're individual cases, and not everyone has the same mindset, nor do they have the same set of circumstances. What's coming in is represented by the Four of Cups. And this is a card where, you know, again, there's a cup that has spilled over. There's a cup waiting there. Now, in the Rider-Waite deck, they show the clouds offering the cup. And this one, it's just resting there, but it's available for them. It's saying love is there for you, but it may not be what you're looking for. And this is obviously one of those fun little paradoxes in life where the person you love doesn't love you. You are loved by somebody that you don't love. Maybe you loved them in the past, but you're not that into them now. Who knows? But the point being that we can't control these kinds of things. And you may be feeling dissatisfied. You may have not made a decision initially, and now you're like understanding that something has to give, that you cannot just continue on this path the way it is. Maybe it's a marriage. You can't continue. It just isn't working out. Even though you're adverse to change, it's getting to that breaking point where it's like unbearable. And if it's a work situation, you may be feeling disappointed in this person who is your boss. You may be, maybe he promised that he would change and he hasn't. Who knows? But it's emotional. These are emotional cards. It's like, it's not necessarily about the money. It could just be about how you feel. And that how you feel is very important. The outcome is the Three of Cups. There's something to celebrate. Again, you may receive a job offer. Perhaps that Two of Pentacles as a spiritual message is saying, hang in there. This is coming for you at some point. So don't give up, or don't get yourself down. There's something, you know, better waiting for you. And the Three of Cups can be like, maybe you decide that you are going to seek out your friendships more. Maybe you've neglected your friendships because of a relationship that was very intense. You know, I didn't mention this, but perhaps this person is a Leo. I mean, a Scorpio, and that just came into my head. That perhaps you're with a Scorpio person, and maybe they have even kind of discouraged you from, you know, calling your friends. They're very possessive, very suspicious of your activities, and don't want you to go out on the town, a night on the town without them. And you decide, you know what, screw that, I'm going. I'm doing this. I'm bringing this, because I'm not having that type of energy in my life anymore. And even if you haven't yet left them, this is like the first salvo in that initial and in the eventual dissolution or dissolving the marriage or the relationship. And you're just going to, and you're also, you might be seeking out this company as a way to gain strength, because you know you're going to need their support when you leave. And the same with the job. Either maybe you're celebrating a new job offer, or you're collaborating. That could be it too. You're getting, you're networking so that you can start your own business, because that Two of Pentacles could indicate that you have a side business. Okay, Leo, I hope you enjoyed this. And if you'd like a private reading, please click on the link below. Otherwise, have an awesome rest of April. Bye.